I dig that. I dig that intro a bunch. It's funky. It matches up with the, I don't know, two scotch funk worldwide lounge. And it will do until my buddy Mark Tarsney has time to put together the appropriate intro. Custom music from one of my high school pals. Man, that guy could play guitar back then. He's even better now, which is incredible. So, what is the purpose of tonight's visit? Where have I been? Where have you been? Where have we been? I have been notably absent from social media. Not completely, but a great deal more than I have been in years. And it has been a healthy moment, a healthy practice, a healthy transformation. And I can't imagine all the time that I've saved by just not dinking with that thing as much. I've neglected my Instagram, my Facebook business page, blah, blah, blah. Who cares, right? I do. There's a reason. I needed more time for me, more time for my stuff. I started a new job. Here I am in Alpena, Michigan, and what the hell am I doing in Alpena, Michigan? That story is to follow. We have lots to talk about, but we're not going to do that tonight. You may notice a different tone, different sound, as my studio is no longer a studio. It is a kitchen, and the picture that you saw on Facebook yesterday is my studio, which is currently a little foam wrap around my super cool mic on the island of the kitchen that I'm in right now. I do miss my other setup, but this will do just fine. And one of the problems that I have is I need everything to be just right. I'm that guy. I want it to be right. Well, I couldn't possibly do a podcast because it's not going to sound like Joe Rogan. It's not going to have that studio feel like I had back at my other house in Charlevoix. Well, guess what? It's never going to be like that. Nothing's ever going to be the same unless it stays the same, right? So let's just do this. If it's got a little bit of an echo, pretend I'm in a concert hall all by myself. And the concert hall just happens to have a toaster and a coffee maker. Seem reasonable? One of the things I want to talk about tonight briefly is what am I doing in Alpena? And I didn't figure that out until, no shit, last night about 8:30. I was talking to my friend Henry. We were talking about some grief things and discussing an idea that I posted on Facebook yesterday and the day before about grief coaching and a book concept that I had. And I'll be damned if it didn't start to tie into all these other things. My buddy Alex Lemon, that little bastard can talk about a mile a minute and he can cover some ground. But if you're careful and you listen, he has some damn good gems of wisdom. So one of the things he did say, and I did get 5 seconds, no, that's not true, 1.2 seconds to write down, solving the mystery of tomorrow. He said that, and that was profound because what we were talking about was important stuff. And I wanted to make sure I caught it, and I did. So Alex will be featured in some stuff here too. The thing that I figured out is why I'm here. One of the things that I've learned over time and had to apply to some times prior to being open to learning was that no matter where we are, we're there for a reason. We've been placed, we place ourselves, we think. I think there's some universe stuff in play. But why would I have left the lakeside of Lake Michigan, Charlevoix the Beautiful, Bayshore, whatever you want to say, to come to Alpena, Michigan? It's a lovely town. I have some of my very best friends here, which I consider family. Why am I here? Oh, I wanted to sail more. Well, I have sailed more than I have on my own boat in this whole summer, more than I have in 15 years. More, maybe more. Doesn't matter. So that mission's accomplished. I'm spending more time with some friends I haven't seen in 25 years. Mission accomplished. And that stuff is important. It's good for the soul. There's all kinds of different things it's good for. But why am I here? I just figured this out yesterday. It's phase 2 of development. Now we say phase 1, 2, whatever. I get to say that because I'm the only one that knows. But phase 1 was the recovery bit. I had to get through some things to get to this point. The recovery thing was working well, is working well. It's ingrained into my DNA, just like the disease of addiction. And we're going to talk about that too. This new phase 2 is an important phase because it deals with grief and loss and trauma and all that stuff. Is there a happy ending? Absolutely. We're working on those. But I lost my father. I mean, Dad was my best friend. Still dealing with that. Well, it's only been 2 years. Of course I'm dealing with it. But as I wander through Alpena, see familiar places, see familiar sights, and familiar faces, that's when this all started to come together. That is when the epiphany of phase 2 appeared. And that's where we're headed. My next mission is to learn about grief, the scientific pieces of it. I know plenty of it. I have enough experience in it over the last few years to write a book about grief. So I'm going to finish up the Stop and Take the Shot book by fall because I have to. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and we're wandering on towards 10 minutes here, but whatever. If you want to shut it off, you can. You'll miss the good stuff at the end, but I'm just glad you're here, and I'm glad to be back chatting with everybody. So phase 2, grief, loss, and we all grieve different things. And we can try to slice it into really thin bits, like I'm grieving the loss of a parent, I'm grieving the loss of a pet, I'm grieving the loss, and this is one of the stories I'm writing right now for a blog, I'm grieving the loss of a musical artist. I never understood that until Eddie Van Halen passed away, and it hit me like a freight train. I couldn't understand. I'd see people post on Facebook about this. I lost so-and-so. So-and-so was a friend of mine. I'm like, God, what a bunch of bullshit. Until Eddie passed. And when he did, my God, my eyes opened up. And all these things that I've written down in all these different journals all over Hell's Half Acre are starting to make sense. They've directed me to this point. So we're going to talk about hard stuff. However, the hard stuff is going to be healing, but the tone is going to be different this time. It's going to be positive, it's going to be constructive, it's going to be supportive, but it's also going to be different because when you go through a serious loss like I have, and there's multiple losses that I haven't discussed with anybody yet because I've been hopeful that maybe they would remedy themselves, and it's becoming more and more obvious that they won't. Hope is still there, and like I told Dad before he passed, the door is always open, but I'm not going to sit by it anymore. So that's a theme we're going to work on. But no more getting rolled. I'm all done with that. Too many people have mistaken kindness for weakness, and we don't have to do that. That's part of grief, is discovering who you are and maybe the best practices for take care of yourself. You can still be kind, but you don't have to take any shit. And that's why that whole thing about never let anybody else hold the pen when writing your story, that's going to become key. So, we're getting close to 10 minutes. I wanted to keep it under. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so good to be back. I feel like I do talk to you when I'm doing these podcasts, because I am talking to you. I feel like we're having a conversation, and I can't wait for feedback. So thanks for coming back. We'll try to get this on a schedule. I'm not going to force every Tuesday, Thursday. I tried that before, and I failed. So I'm just going to try to get these out when I can. From the kitchen with the toaster and the coffee maker studios of Two Scotch Funk Worldwide Lounge, this is Derek Chowan saying thank you. Thanks for being here. I sure do appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. We'll talk again soon.